Hello, thank you for tuning in to Holdem Hand of the Day, brought to you by GoodEvents Poker, affiliate of Jow Poker. I'm your host, Johnny B. Good, and today we're going to be talking about how to counterbalance losses in an all-in hand when you're at least three-handed. And I will show you what I'm talking about here shortly. As you can see, antes are 2,000 apiece, and blinds are at 10,000, 20,000. I am in a multi-table tournament here, trying to win a large amount of money based off of my investment. I'm trying to get a high rate of return here. So I'm doing pretty decent. I am second in chip stack at this table. And I got ace-ace, so I'm sitting on a beast. The table's playing relatively loose. Granted, I have a couple players that are playing relatively tight. The loose players I'm really kind of worried about because at this point in the tournament, it's been like all in or fold, all in or fold. Which when I see aces and it's been all in or fold, I'm pretty excited because I think I'm going to maybe double, maybe even triple up in this situation. So, as you can see, Get Rich goes ahead and just limps in under the gun. Probably not the smartest move, especially when you have a bunch of people pushing all in just for absolutely no reason. It's just been absolutely crazy at this table. One king, one power here. He's probably rebought at this point at least 15 times. The guy is completely tilting right now, and I'm really expecting him to pretty much call anything I throw out there in hopes that I'll be able to pick up his stack. But Get Rich, he's only raising 2% of the hands that he plays, and he's only playing 25% of his hands. So he's only raising pre-flop with like ace ace king king and ace queen suited. Like there's not ace king suited. There's not much out there that he's getting in there with that justifies a raise for him. Which I have him listed as a weak type player, which means that you always want to c-bet them, you always want to isolate them, and you can semi-bluff these players off hands too. So I wouldn't just bluff them with nothing, but you can definitely push them off a hand if there's a scare card out there. And but that's irrelevant in this situation because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get all the money I can in there pre-flop so I can make the most money, as I can pull as much equity off of this as I possibly can. With a limper, it's going to be a little tough, but I get one caller. So I'm still going to raise here. So my standard raise of 3 times the blind plus 1 time for each limp would put me at 5 times the big blind. So I'm at 100. I'm at 100,000. But in this situation, we have antes. Everyone deals with antes slightly differently. I either do 2 or 3 times the ante to add to that. Sometimes that can get you in trouble if you're short stacked, so you got to be really careful on how you handle that. But you always want to somehow calculate in the ante when you're actually in your pre-flop raise, or you're going to give your opponents odds to call you if the ante's too high. In this situation, I went 5 times the big blinds, 3 times the ante, which put us at 106,000, roughly about a fifth of my stack. So I got a healthy medium there. I got the bet pretty high. I'm not risking a whole lot on my first bet. I'm still giving reason for people to call me relatively, and the fact that they've been playing absolutely crazy, I could have probably limped into this and had more people get into it, but I already got 2. So I don't want any more people in this pot. Right? I want to get them out. So if I was first to raise, I could have justified only a 2 times the blind raise in hopes that someone pushed in over the top, which would have been fine with me. But that's not how this turned out. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward here, and it gets back over to Get Rich. And Get Rich calls me. Now the problem with Get Rich calling me here, let me back up. He has 132,000 left in his stack, right? He needed to go ahead and push in all over the top, which in this situation, that's what I was kind of hoping he would do instead of just calling me. I mean, you can't make a call for for over 2/3 of your stack, you can't just make that call. You got to get it in there. If you're comfortable with playing the hand, you can't expect to fold it later, so you might as well get it in there, right? That just never makes sense to me. But it works to my advantage, and I'll show you here shortly how it does. So he calls me, and king calls me. So we're in a three-way pot now. Now, Get Rich, he doesn't raise pre-flop very often. He plays 25% of his hands, so his range is relatively loose, but still profitable. So, and he plays aggressive post-flop. Since the fact that he limped in under the gun and called my raise, I got to put him on a pretty decent hand. Maybe queens, maybe jacks, ace-queen suited, ace-jack suited, queen-jack suited, maybe ace-queen off. He's on a pretty strong hand. Tens. And the fact that king here just called me, I can't put him on a monster. He's got a huge range, right? And he raises a lot. He's very aggressive. But the fact that he just called me off of his range and how aggressive he typically plays, he doesn't have a monster. So I can eliminate high pairs when playing this hand against king. And the fact that he's tilting too. I mean, completely unpredictable. So the flop comes king, queen, two suited. So I think that I'm still ahead here until Rich goes ahead and pushes it all in. Now, his all in is pretty much irrelevant. He should have got it in there pre-flop. So, but there's a possibility that he could have queens or kings in this situation. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and he's got queens is what I'm putting him on, right? So I think that my hand is lost. If my hand is lost in this situation, I need to find a way to be able to make the money back. And lucky for me, king called me. King called too. So with king calling, that I have king beat. I know I have king beat. So I could just call here and then go ahead and bet the turn in hopes that he would call me. But there's a flush draw out on the board. He could easily be holding on to two spades. And I don't want to lose to that. Yeah, he could have king, queen, but scared money doesn't make you money, and I got to get it in there. You know, if I want to win this tournament, I have to get it in there. So, because he doesn't have a set. He doesn't. It's definitely not in his range and how he's explaining it. So I went ahead and I pushed all in over the top because I know this guy was tilting in hopes that he will call me with top pair or middle pair in this situation. And lucky for me, he does. So the fact that he just called gives me a side pot of 466,000 when I had 100 and something left. Let's go. I'm gonna go all the way back because I want you to see this. I had 497,000, almost 498,000 chips, right? So if we fast forward back to this point right here, you can see that if you add this plus this, means that I'm going to be higher than I'm going to actually gain chips in this situation, assuming that he has me beat. And that's exactly what I wanted to happen. So, of course, he had pocket twos. So he was significantly lowering my range, but he still had me beat, right? See? And king did exactly like I expected him to do. He came in with middle pair because he was tilting, which now I'm at 578,631. And I'm actually I gained chips in that situation. So what lesson did we learn here? We learned that in a three-way pot, when you're dealing with a hand that you know that you're beat, but you know that you have the other person beat, and you're thoroughly positive that they will call you no matter what you bet, take their money. Don't be scared. Get it in there. Now, I do have to suggest, you got to be cautious because you don't get situations like this all day, every day. So the majority of the time, you're not going to take this line. But if it ever comes about, don't be scared to get it in there. Don't be scared. Thank you for tuning in. I would invite you all to come check out On Tilt Radio. We play there. You get free rolls. You got poker news. Nice community. So if you're looking for a new place to play, make some new friends, come and see us at ontiltradio.com. Also, too, go ahead and check us out at GoodEvents Poker on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you got any questions or if there's any hands that you want me to look into or if you want some one-on-one coaching, send me an email, leave a comment, and I'll see what I can do to help you out because I love to do that kind of stuff. And so until next time, thanks for tuning in.